welcome back. Episode 42 of Revisited, and this time we are doing, I think this is our first official My Hero video since we lost the Bakugo one. It is What's So Great About My Hero Academia. I think it's by Mother's Basement.
It is most certainly by Mother's Basement.
The last Mother Basement we did was, 21 episodes ago. It was episode 21.
Yeah, how about that?
It was right after the stupid Persona 5 video, Spit. Yeah. So, we used to really like My Hero Academia, and now it's fallen into I cannot believe how bad this is territory.
Yeah, it's... Whoo, boy. And I need to go back and look to see if it was always there, or if this was just Horikoshi just being a bit of a bum.
I think aspects of it were always there, but because it was so new, you don't get to see the aspects of it yet. It's just like with Bleach. You start seeing some of the same beats, and it's just like when you first see them, it's not really a problem because you don't know it's just going to be this throughout.
Yeah.
So you look at the whole class, and you're like, okay, all these people got quirks, and they're cool. And I don't mean quirks as in power. I mean they're quirky characters, and they're cool. And, we're going to learn a little bit about them. You get a little bit of Uraraka, so you're thinking, you get a little bit of Uraraka, you get a little bit of Momo, you're thinking, okay, we're going to get a little bit of everybody sprinkled throughout, and then it was just a hard stop.
Here we go, like, come on.
No, you do not, sir. Ida, Momo, Uraraka, a little bit of Ayama, and then you shrug your shoulders and go, how you doing, baby?
And I've always said, don't give so many characters, don't have so many characters in the same class surrounded by the main characters. You're not going to do anything with them. There did not need to be 16. You could have done anything with that.
Yeah, even if you would have cut out 4 of them, it would have made it so much easier to manage. Because at this point, you're looking at people like Sugar Rush, who's doing nothing, talking to Animals Dude, who's doing nothing, Tentacruel, who's doing nothing,
Invisible Girl,
doing nothing, Ayama really doing nothing. You got like 6 or 7 characters doing nothing, but if you had 8, it would be, you could spread it out a little bit more, and it wouldn't look as horrible. Because right now you've got basically half the class with some form of development, and I mean some significant form of development. Because even in Minata got forms of development. It's just like, you're like me, Midoriya, but you're trying. Why can't I try too? And all this extra stuff. Okay, you developed a little bit. There you go. What else you got? Oh, literal nothing.
Nothing.
He's waiting for a 6-year-old to get older so he can perv on her. Absolutely fantastic. Clap everybody.
Ayama just really no development. It was just more. It was exploration, really.
It's
Teodu Ojiro.
Ojiro, that's his name.
He's, I guess, honorable enough to be like, I didn't earn this, so I don't want to be in this competition.
But then Bakugo did it in the same arc, but did it better because it was on a bigger stage. It was just like, I don't want to win this way.
Crap like that. It's like, why even have them?
Yeah.
And Invisible Girl's at a flat 0.
Flat 0. She's a bit of an airhead.
Invisible Girl, Sugar Rush, and Animal Dude cut. Easy cut.
Not even a question, just cut.
Easy.
Cut it.
Easy.
So I guess.
Just to have the numbers about this was released in December 2019, and around that time in the manga, it was the end of the Endeavor training arc. The internship. Yep. Okay. It was around the end of that.
Okay. Just to put a little bit of a bell in on when this was made.
Yes.
For several decades now, Shonen Jump has been one
of the
biggest names.
Look at him with his inconsistent scar.
And right now, one of the biggest names in Shonen Jump is My Hero Academia. Kohei Horikoshi's breakout series has taken the world, particularly the North American anime market, by storm. Since its anime adaptation first debuted in 2016, it's become a fixture in just about every space where Western otaku gather, from online forums to massive conventions. And with season...
My Hero is very accessible. It deals with superheroes. You know what that is. It's not any sort of real concept that you have to wrap your head around. It's not like space or
even something like
science.
Even something like Demon Slayer is steeped in a lot of Japanese mythical lore that you're not gonna really grasp unless you grasp aspects of that. Whereas this is just like, well, we want to be heroes, and everybody knows what a hero is. So it tries to deal with the process of being a hero and what makes a hero, and all that in the society, and whether it's even a good thing. So they can focus on things like that. But the people that just want shiny hero stuff gets a lot of shiny hero stuff.
So it's insanely accessible like that, and I can see why it got the popularity that it did.
4 in full swing, it's showing little sign of slowing
Look at that.
down.
That's great.
You almost
Unbreakable.
can't get away from it, particularly in the context of big anime award shows where winners are determined by community.
It's just the anime of the season. People aren't bumping My Hero like that. It is gone comfortably into it's the people just go, it's great, and everybody knows that it's great, and everybody's quiet about it. It's moved over to Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer interchangeably.
And it's gonna move on from them when the next thing it goes from Madoka Magica to the next thing, My Hero to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. Your series is not as special as you think it is.
Hold on to that most gaining, what is it? Highest grossing movie of all time, Demon Slayer, because that is substantiveless. Hold on to that. People gonna realize it sooner rather than later that, oh wow, ain't too much here.
It's real sad, but I very much doubt that, because I had somebody that's going, I was arguing with them about Demon Slayer, how mid it was, and they were like, well, it's the movie is the highest grossing movie.
Jesus.
Hold on. It's the highest grossing movie ever, so it has to be doing something right. You know, it's not just animation and stuff, because Dragon Ball had animation and big fights, and it wasn't the highest grossing. And I just answered, Dragon Ball was the highest grossing anime movie in history in America, and they had no reply.
Rip.
Because at the end of the day, people care about pretty and animation.
Avatar.
And that's what is elevating it to the phenomenal level. Because I said, if you were to give it to Toei, Demon Slayer would not be even close to as popular as it is.
Look at Avatar. It's the highest grossing movie, and it is... I will always remember a video of a dude on the pier just walking up to people going, I will give you $100 if you can name me 3 characters from that movie. And like one person got it.
Award shows where winners are determined by community votes. And while the sheer
Oh, wow. Popular, so
Popular
it must
stuff,
be
yep.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's about voting is about popularity. It's not about quality.
And it's really not even worth paying attention to.
Now, it's understandable if people are like, this is the highest quality thing, so I'm voting for it. There are going to be people like that. But the vast majority of people are going to be, I like this the most, so that's why I'm voting for it. It does not make it the best out of the things that are presented. It just makes it the most voted thing out of the things that were presented.
And even that, it's just like, if there's 4 choices and you've only seen one of them, of course you're going to vote for the one that you've seen.
There's been so many times where the Game Awards is like, vote, and it's just like, indie game of the year, and I'm like, I played 2 of these. So it's between one of these 2. I never played this game, so it's not fair for me to vote for it, even though people think it's fantastic. Like, the year Celeste came out, I never played Celeste, but I played like 2 of the other games, so I voted for one of them. But then, like, years later, I finally played Celeste, and it's incredible. But I'm not going to vote for it just because that's the thing that should be voted for, because I personally have no stake in it, because I don't know I don't know how good it is in my own opinion. Like, so awards and that type of thing means Nathan if it's community voted.
votes. And while the sheer undying ubiquity of this franchise can be a bit frustrating if you're an anime hipster like me who wishes that people would watch more cool, obscure stuff, it's also, all things considered,
Didn't he call ReZero a masterpiece?
He most certainly did.
That's obscure and cool.
Let's see. You, Mother Basement, have made 11 My Hero videos, to your 1.17 million subscriber YouTube channel. So you are just going, hey, I'm going to showcase this thing 11 separate times to a million people. You're propagating this.
Why not showcase some of those cool
seriously
things? Why not put out 3 to 4 videos of those things?
Because this is making you money? Because this is what's getting the views?
So what was even that series he showed?
He didn't
cool obscure stuff.
Don't even know what it was.
Seriously.
So I can't even look up the videos he made of it.
He could have just seriously been like, seriously, watch whatever this is. Or just put up a little sign that says, hey, this is what this is. Check it out.
If you go to Mother's Basement and look at the flavor of the month animes and stuff like that, I bet you he has so many more episodes on those types of things than these obscure cool things he thinks about.
He's got 5 on Demon Slayer.
And that came out, 3 years ago?
It's a season in a movie.
All things considered, pretty impressive and not entirely undeserved. A lot of people...
Is there anything in this world that is truly, entirely undeserved? Even people that hated Justin Bieber has no choice but to go, wow, this kid can do a lot of things. So maybe he does deserve the popularity he's got. Who the knows? How can you say that anything is entirely undeserved of the praise it gets? What a nonsense, just nothing answer of something.
I was trying to think of something, but everything I'm like, nope, that's worthy of some sort of praise.
Even if it's 99.9 to infinity% undeserved, that point almost infinity 0.1 makes it not entirely.
Series, myself included, obviously. I've made more videos about it than Sword Art Online, but all of those have been...
You like Sword Art Online too? What are you doing?
Does he? Or is he saying I've made more videos on this thing that I like than this thing that I hate?
Huh, good question.
Let's see. What's in an opening? What's in a scene? Makes no sense. Why do people love sword art? Fixing the worst part.
So yeah, it seems like he's not a fan of sword art.
Maybe because it looks like as it's going down, he gets less and less of a fan. Maybe it's because I heard the second season was quite poor. I don't know. But he's also made 9 videos on it, so that's also quite a lot. Oh, hang on a second. I gotta get a Tylenol.
A headache.
Yep. Ooh.
The comment in the Discord, it was just like, I liked how they have to learn about light in school and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, but the ending was really dumb because it wasn't even an established rule. It was just a Shinigami King being pissy. He was just big mad that he got outthunk. And it was like, no, we gotta kill that kid. Oops, gotta hit it with my mouse now.
About examining specific aspects of the series under a microscope. Today, I'd like to take a look at the bigger picture, because I think there are a lot of reasons, good ones, that this show and the manga it's based on have experienced the insane success that they have. My Hero Academia is undeniably a little overhyped, but it also undeniably deserves at least some hype. I'd argue a lot. Personally, I think My Hero Academia...
My Hero is overhyped, but I think that it deserves some hype. In fact, a lot of hype. So what is the level of hype that you believe that it deserves? Because that was so nothing of a sentence.
I think he means that My Hero is like at a...
It's at a 10 and it deserves an 8.
Yeah,
but that is such a clunky sentence.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's Mother's Basement. What do you like? Did we not forget how the ReZero went?
I think My Hero Academia is a great anime. I know, I'm so brave. And I'm here to tell you what's so great about it. Set in a future world with technology not far beyond our own, where a majority of people are born with bizarre superpowers and mutations called quirks.
Is it a future world?
I believe so. I believe it's like 2040 something. Yeah, I don't know the exact time period it's set in, but I think it's a little bit past us. But it's hard to tell because even quirks, because I was about to be like, technology is a little bit more advanced than ours, but even then, you could just say quirks allowed them to quickly blah, blah, blah.
It looks like there's not a real
answer on it.
Yeah, some people say it's set between 2020 and 2098, and some people are like, it's set exactly in 2131.
Who knows?
Okay, My Hero Academia focuses, as the title suggests, on the lives of students training to fend off superpowered crime. As
this is a falsity.
It is indeed a falsity.
It's centered around All for One and One for All, with a little sprinkling of the Bakugo and Todoroki show.
There's a lot of heroes that we have no idea why they're even heroes.
Professional costumed vigilantes. More specifically, it focuses on Deku, a timid, weak boy born with no powers who nonetheless yearns with every fiber of his being to save people with a smile, the way his idol, All Might, does. All Might, the symbol of peace, is your classic spandex-clad crusader of justice. Super strong, super fast, and gifted with superhuman endurance, he's revered throughout the world as its greatest hero, like some sort of man who's...
Is it the world's greatest hero?
No.
Because now we know that there's American and all these foreign heroes and stuff. Is he the world's greatest hero, or is he Japan's greatest hero? And if he's the world's greatest hero, why do we not see him like, oh man, I gotta take a flight over to America, or I gotta hop over there? It's all just we don't really know too much about All Might's past. We saw the whole in the movie he went over to Japan, America, but he wasn't even like really established then.
Yeah.
And he just sort of helped somebody once.
It's really hard to even know about the world because we explore so little of the world and the mechanics of things like rankings and stuff. Because I believe when they talk about the rankings, they said the Japan rankings, which means there are rankings outside the world. Because there's no way that Japan has the top 10 of the top 10 heroes in the world. That's ridiculous. So, is he the number one hero in the world? Please show something that says that. I'm sure it was said, but please show, like, evidence. Because, based on what we know, I don't think he was. Because, Endeavor, whenever they say All Might's the number one hero, they always go, Endeavor is the number two hero.
Yeah.
So, Endeavor moved up to number one. But did the number one in the world, was Endeavor the number two in the world? Or was he number two in Japan, and then the number one in America moved up to number one in the world, while Endeavor's still number two in the world, but now he's number one in Japan.
See, crap like that. Poor world building.
Veered throughout the world as its greatest hero, like some sort of man who's super. But he has a secret. A battle with a powerful villain some years prior left him a shell of his former self, only able to work as a hero for a short time each day. In his off hours, he searches desperately for a worthy successor to carry the torch, and when he sees powerless Deku charge into...
Absolutely. Absolutely not.
Because we never, first off, see or hear that. Second off, he went, oh yeah, I'll just give it to Mirio, and he was planning to do that. Yeah. He wasn't tirelessly. You're making it sound way more grandiose than it is. He's the world's number one hero. Not exactly. He's searching tirelessly. No.
Yeah, he was just like, he was on his way to the academia to give his power to Mirio, But I'm sure. I think even Night Eye was just like, we're gonna need a successor for All Might's power, and I think I found one. I don't think All Might is just like, who is it? Who could it possibly be? Because that would mean there was some type of selection process and judging process in his head, and he went, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Like, so what made Deku more worthy than all the rest beyond just trying to save his friend?
And being quirkless and not killing him, blah, blah, blah.
Asshole classmate Bakugo from a villain he has no chance of beating, he knows he's found one. Lucky for both of them, All Might's One for All isn't like other quirks. Beyond simply granting super strength, it allows a person to store power within their body and ultimately pass it, along with the quirk, on to someone else. Several generations of these transfers gave birth to All Might's unbeatable strength, and now Deku has been chosen to inherit all of that power and the responsibility that comes with it, to take ownership of that legacy and become the new symbol of peace. It's everything he's ever dreamed of, but it won't come easy. Just acquiring the power demands a year of exhaustive strength training, and after that, he'll have to compete with some of the brightest teen quirk prodigies in the world as they train in combat, search and rescue, and
he obliterated the mugs.
Yes, he did.
Except for like the two strongest people there.
But was Nana the symbol of peace?
Hard to tell.
Because you would think that he would be like, oh, your master? Because he of course knows all about All Might, and she was a very popular hero, assumedly. You would think he would be like, oh, outside of Float, you have almost the exact same abilities as your master.
I don't think there was a symbol of peace before All Might. I think that it was just like heroes fighting villains, and it was just, number one rankings and stuff, but it wasn't like, these are peaceful times thanks to the overwhelming power of this number one hero. It was just the number one hero. But All Might was so overwhelming that a lot of that stuff just went way down, crime and all that crap and villainy. So that's the symbol of our peaceful times. And the second he left, crime starts going up. All these things start going up. So we need a new, hey, this person is here, so it will bring crime down. But this is a problem of the society itself, in that the humans are, the regular people are just like, we can't do shit without heroes. Except now they're rising up because it's like heroes, but they're finding that they can't do without heroes. It's just like the Luke Jedi thing, where it's just like, I'm going to cut myself off from the Force. Well, it doesn't stop the Empire from being the Empire. So, shunning the heroes does not stop the villains from being villains.
Hero PR at the prestigious UA Academy, all while fending off attacks from sinister villains who seek to destroy All Might and everything he represents. Unlike Dr. Stone or The Promised Neverland, Hiraka doesn't really do all that much to innovate within the shonen anime formula. And
Is Dr. Stone innovating?
That's you. I don't know.
Dr. Stone is a typical shonen. It just doesn't have action. It's a lot of like, let's come up with inventions and stuff. Yeah. But you could say the same for something like Cage of Eden or something.
Nobody's bumping Cage of Eden.
Nobody's bumping Cage of Eden.
So you can't say it like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things that do the type of things where it's like, we're left in a kind of prehistoric world fending off monsters and our friends, and we have to build things and learn things. But it's just, it's not doing anything special. In fact, at points it kind of devolves into the usual shonen trash.
And Mother's Basement is such a bad YouTuber that he just goes, these two things innovate, and he moves on.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Promise Wonderland.
Seriously. And
Neverland.
And you just went with the Dr. Stone thing. So we're not learning anything about how they're innovating. It just goes, My Hero isn't innovating like these things.
And innovation does not equal quality. Just doing something different doesn't make it good. Is it good with the thing that it did differently?
Just innovation. No, innovation plus stuff, not stuff plus innovation.
to innovate within the shonen anime formula. And unlike One Punch Man, it's not all that interested in critiquing the concept of superheroes.
Wait, what's the rest of that sentence?
But then it...
No, you are...
No, he's moved on.
Hold on.
But then it doesn't really need...
Nope, okay, falsity. Even this was around the time of stuff like Uraraka. This is way past Uraraka, where it's just like, I want to be a hero for money. And you see things like Mount Lady in their interview with Midnight, where it's just like, these two women are trying, and the internship where it's just like, the women have to be glamorous and blah, 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 blah. It's already critiquing the society within itself of heroes. So to say that it's just trying to be this, grandiose, hey, good guy versus bad guy thing, that's not how it works.
Even with Gentle, where he was just like, I so desperately want to be a hero, but then he's just such a dropout that he goes, okay, I can't be a hero, I'll be a villain.
And this was around the time in the manga of the internship with the main three. You mean to tell me Hero Society wasn't being criticized at that point? Come on.
My One Punch Man. Dude, this is...
And what does One Punch Man criticize about
You
Hero
know what
Society?
it does. You've read a good chunk of it, so you know what it
most of it.
criticizes.
It doesn't. It doesn't criticize a thing.
Oh, word? Well, if he had clarified that, we'd have some sort of information on it. But as we don't, that's one of those things where if you present something without evidence, it could be dismissed without evidence. So moving on.
There are too many things that people believe are deconstructionists, where it's really just doing something different from its contemporaries. And that is all that it's doing.
And sometimes people think that that's enough.
True deconstruction is something like Cabin in the Woods. And I know I keep bringing it up, but it's the clearest, most simple, understandable thing in the world when you want to look at something like deconstruction. There's a character called the Harbinger that spells the doom of the teens, where whenever, you'll go to a gas station or something, it'll be like, don't go up there, there's blah, 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 and they're just like, you old man, blah, blah, blah. And then he calls into the people, and it's just like, the lambs are coming to the slaughter. Am I on speakerphone? And it's making a joke out of it because they all have roles to play. Why is that character like that? Oh, that's the role he plays. Why would a character drop a knife after stabbing the villain instead of making sure they were dead? Oh, because there's a small electrical shock that makes them drop the knife and they don't even realize it. Makes a ton of sense, doesn't it? Why are these characters acting like that? Oh, because we're pumping pheromones into the atmosphere. Hey, that makes a ton of sense, doesn't it? So when you go, why do all these things happen in horror movies? This movie goes, this is why it happens, and isn't it stupid and isn't it great?
I'm glad One Punch Man does all that
He
as
does
well.
none of that!
Oh, what? Are you sure?
All Might's One for All isn't like other quirks, beyond simply granting super
Wow, I
strength.
went way back.
But then it doesn't super strength. I'm interested in critiquing the concept of superheroes either. But then it doesn't really need to. Superheroes are fun. Shonen battle anime is fun. So it stands to reason that a well-made shonen battle anime about superheroes would also be fun. And
Not necessarily. You could have something like that and just have it be dour. You have something like that and it just be poorly written. There's a lot of ways that it can go. You can't just go shonen plus superheroes equals fun.
Hey, Poochie and Jolene giving each other the hands was not fun, but my God, was it great!
Quite hype. And it's just like, here we're just attached to each other with handcuffs, and we just go punch each other. That's great stuff there.
Shonen battles are not inherently fun. They can be exciting. They might be inherently exciting, but they're not inherently fun.
Nothing if not well made. It has the fundamentals of that peanut butter and chocolate combo down to a science. If you're looking for big emotional fight scenes where young spiky-haired battle boys put all their feelings into their fists for the sake of honor, their dreams, and most importantly, their beloved nakamas, this show has you more than covered.
So you should just love everything.
Yeah.
Huh?
Is that all that it needs to do? I think that it should be able to do more than just the same things as everybody else. but with superheroes.
Battle boys and girls are award-winningly good, and there are few places where you'll see such fights so impressively animated. My Hero Academia is a Sakuga smorgasbord.
Oh, pretty. Pretty is an argument.
I am a manga trash boy. I will read the manga before I even come close to watching the anime. The only reason I watched the Demon Slayer anime is because it needed to be done. Because that was apparently the purest form to do it. Like I will watch the Yu Yu Hakusho anime before I read the manga because the anime is just superior to it. But that tells you that I do not give a about animation. I've always said animation, good animation, cool, rock it. But it's not gonna detract from me from having okay animation. Pretty good
Air
animation.
Master's animation is terrible, but I love it so much.
Dog's animation is when I'm like, oh wow, that's terrible. But amazing animation does not elevate anything for me.
And this and Demon Slayer, it's just like, oh yeah, that's pretty, but what is it doing? How is the fight flowing? And then once you take it away,
really pretty.
Once you take away them pretties, like in the manga of Demon Slayers, all them hoes just come a tumbling through because you don't have that pretty. And here it's just, yeah, that looks good. That's about all I can say for animation.
When I said Demon Slayer was mid, somebody on Twitter just said, "Watch the movie." What does that mean? What does that mean? And I told them, if it's just more pretty and more fights, it's not going to help with the problems I have of Demon Slayer. When it comes to shonen, I care about plot first, I care about characters second, and action is like fourth or fifth. I don't care too much about action. Now, action can elevate it so I don't give as much about the plot or whatever, because, can't even say Ippo, because I love the characters of Ippo. But the plot of Ippo is just like, it's fairly nothing. So I can, the plot and the characters of Detective Conan, I love that. I don't need big action stuff. Dr. Stone is the same thing. I don't need big action stuff.
Because that's, with plot and characters, you can point to them and just go, this stuff has some substance. We can discuss this. We can talk about it. All with animation, you can really just look at it and just look, maybe research like, oh, who storyboarded this, who directed this, and just look and just go, well, yep, that was good. But with characters and plot and all that stuff, there's discussion to be had.
Wasn't it very pretty?
Wasn't it very? Yes, it was. I really liked how the water flowed, and he did the swirly, and it was very pretty in frames and on model.
Like,
moving on.
Picture of a podcast of Demon Slayer where they review every episode as it comes out.
It'd be a lot of, man, this shot was really good.
It was so pretty. When Tanjiro did this, wasn't that funny?
Wow, Form 3, which is...
I got nothing for you.
I think Form 3 is Water Wheel.
No, that's Form 2. I know that for a fact now. Look it up. Because Form 2 is Water Wheel. Thank you.
I had to tell you that.
Yeah, but now after reading Demon Slayer, I know for a fact that's Form 2.
What, you don't know 3?
Nope. He doesn't do it enough.
Flowing dance. The user swings and bends their blade in a winding motion along their body and dances in a flowing pattern, slicing everything in its path.
Yep. Like I said, didn't know. See, this is precisely why we had to do that because reasons of Demon Slayer. Because it would have been 5 times as bad of what we're doing now.
A Sakuga smorgasbord, showcasing some of the absolute best animation to ever come out of the studio that gave us FMA twice. How these characters move is...
Oh my goodness, he's still going with animation. I thought that would be the end. He spends a sentence on One Punch Man is deconstruction.
It's not deconstruction,
criticizing heroes and not explaining it at all, but you're going, the way the characters move. Dude, come on now. We need to teach people that anime is more than just pretty. Who cares?
Yeah, it's so funny that so many people are always like, oh, it's moving the shonen genre forward, stuff like Hunter x Hunter and Madoka and all that crap. But then they just go, wow, pretty.
Yeah. People bumping One Piece now like it hasn't always been great. Just because the animation bumped up.
And I hate the way the animation looks now, because that's not One Piece.
I like it.
Dude, I hate the whole glowing stuff. Every time I see Zoro fight, and he's like this big monster glow thing, I'm just like I'm not bumping this.
I like it. But yeah, people and the pacing is still pretty bad.
It's still just as bad. They just found a way to make it look less like they polished the rust off a little bit.
And now people are like, yeah, One Piece. I'm like, yeah, One Piece for 23 years.
Fame twice. How these characters move is impressive, but so is how they're drawn. One of My Hero Academia's greatest strengths as a manga is its art style, and I say this as someone who spent literally hours staring at it line by individual line to make thumbnails. It goes beyond simply emulating American comics.
Hours for a thumbnail?
Hold on.
It is multiple thumbnails.
No, but hold on.
Who spent literally hours staring at it line by
What's he doing?
individual line to make thumbnails.
Yeah, I was looking for the actual video just to see the finished product.
I mean, he's clearly rotoscoping, but
he didn't use this.
Look,
Wait a
this
second,
is
go
in
back.
Photoshop.
Yeah. Go back to the full Bakugo thing.
Who spent literally hours
yelling like that.
staring at it line by individual line to make thumbnails.
I don't know, because in this 11 video playlist, he does not have that thumbnail.
I see exactly what he's doing. Okay, so he's filling all the background with green, so then he can put it into his video editor, and then chroma key it out in the editor. No, he wouldn't need to do that because he's in Photoshop.
He said this is for the thumbnail, and I'm not seeing that thumbnail.
No, but I don't care about that. I'm talking about the process by which he's doing it.
We're having two separate conversations.
Yeah. Can he use a pen tool or mask this out? Why is he doing it in this process?
Yeah, I'm not seeing
it seems like it seems like a way harder way to do this.
It goes beyond simply emulating American comics in an anime style. Kohei Horikoshi builds his characters out of big, expressive, cartoony shapes and renders them with rough, ink-splattered line art that gets messier and more urgent as the action grows.
Why would you not show an example for everything that you said? Expressive angles. Why didn't you just go here? It's simple editing stuff like that gives more weight to what you're saying.
Yeah. Because you're providing examples so people can go, oh, that's what he means.
And especially panning up like that, I was like, what's going on here?
Blend that with angled layouts and heavy use of exaggerated perspective, and you get these beautiful panels where the characters just seem to pop off the page. It's remarkable how faithful.
Pop off the page is not praise. It means nothing to me.
Oh, it sounds like you've got some of your own hang-ups with the way people use words.
Of course I do. I always have. People are bums.
I mean, you be coming at me hard for iconic.
Yeah, because you just have a problem with the word iconic. I'm just like, explain what you mean.
Explain what iconic means.
You know, everybody knows what iconic means. But saying it pops off the page means nothing to me.
It's an expression.
Yeah, of course it is. But in what way does it pop off the page? Is it more... Compare it to just...
something flat.
Yeah, because... What do you mean by it pops off the page? Does it pop off the page at every single second? Does it pop off the page only in action segments? Is it only certain characters that do that? It's such a nothing statement.
Do other manga not do this?
Yeah.
Bones is able to capture the manga's iconic style and that feel.
Are these chips? Can I get some chips? Those are some chips. What's the problem? What? Do you not agree that Studio Bones captures the iconic style of Horikoshi's manga, My Hero Academia? Do you disagree? Do you disagree? No. Let's find some common ground here. Let's try to agree with him. Do you disagree?
I don't even know what he said. So
All you heard was iconic.
this came out 6 years ago.
Things can be
How can
iconic
it still?
in 6 years.
How can it already be iconic?
Things can be iconic in 6 years.
And okay, the iconic art style.
What do you mean?
That
I
don't mean
don't
it's
know what you
greatly
mean.
recognized by a vast majority. No, it's just the way they draw.
The Superman symbol was iconic.
Yes, that's iconic. Mickey Mouse's ears are iconic.
Deku ain't.
Deku, the way he's drawn ain't iconic.
That was funny though. He's
how
right.
faithfully Bones is able to capture the manga's iconic style and that feel without
The
And that feel.
iconic style of the manga. What does that sentence mean?
Oh, are you getting on him about the meaning of citizens?
Yes, I always have.
And the feel. Don't forget about and the feel.
Look, Berserk is iconic. That's an iconic art style. What is this?
It's just good.
It's just a really good art style.
It's a pretty bad ratio.
letting it get in the way of their animators. So often with anime adaptations, it's one or the other. You get a faithful reproduction of the manga that moves like a slideshow, or a relatively smooth show that looks kind of like it, I guess. I mean, maybe it also looks kind of like a lot of other shows, especially SAO, but the
Sweet baby Jesus, can we get off of this superficial looking pretty stuff? Can we please?
Has a lot of really good animation.
He that was a pick and choose out this world.
Now there are definitely a lot of times where it's a slideshow.
But you can't say that My Hero is in a slideshow in some points.
Yes, there are a lot of points where you could slideshow My Hero. The point being though that JoJo's is good outside of the need for that.
Yes.
lines are the same, kind of. Bones tries hard not to make those compromises, though. From Ouran Host Club to FMA Brotherhood to Soul Eater to Mob Psycho 100, they've basically always gone the extra mile in their adaptations to capture the unique character of the original work's art. And that's especially important for this.
The unique character of Ouran Host Club says nothing to it. He doesn't say, look how this dude's hair is spiky at the end, and they recreated almost perfectly. Look, this character's cheeks are a little chubbier than this character's, and they captured that as well when they could have been thinner. There are a lot of images online of just going, especially with Uraraka when she's doing the cheerleader thing, where she's very thin down.
Yes.
Have you seen that image?
I have seen a lot of weird images of that stuff, but let me see that.
Let me look that up.
How many studios out there, because you picked the Sword Art Online, which I don't think has a manga, it's more visual novels and novelizations and stuff like that. How many things do not capture the look of the manga?
Yeah, seriously. He showed off that, here it is right here.
Oh yeah, she was way chubbier.
Yeah, the thighs, the stomach, the face. So,
Bring back my chubby girl.
yeah, and Nadare, they made her boobs bigger. Stuff like that. But, yeah. He showed off that Magi thing of just like one character, and I don't know if that was just a spread. I don't know if that's fan fiction. I don't know what that was. That would have been better if he showed off this is that exact panel from the manga instead of, oh, here's this character. Man, he's bad. Unless he's not editing. And in which case, man, his editor is terrible. And man, he's bad for not overseeing this stuff.
Especially important for this series because Hiroaka throws a lot of different designs from all over the cartoon
Christ
spectrum
almighty, get off of this! Talk about something that can be talked about!
This is. That's
Pretty
what I'm talking about.
design! Man!
all
I'm
over the
sick of
cartoon
this!
spectrum into one big blender, and the combination wouldn't really work in anything other than this messy comic book style. Even the Vigilantes spin-off manga doesn't quite get it right, and while they do dodge around the problem in the main storylines by using mostly original characters and more anime-style heroes from the main series, whenever All Might shows up, that boy just ain't look right. The anime nails a really tough character.
Because it's not Horikoshi drawing it.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's not a style or anything. It's just that this person, you know what All Might looks like. And the person who draws All Might all the time draws him. You go, okay. What? This is... He's going on for so long.
It's a really tough character design challenge right out of the gate. And if it hadn't, I think a lot of it would have fallen flat, especially the fights. But it's not just the visuals that make those fights so good. As I've hopefully demonstrated through my Animele deep dives into 4 of them now, one of which, covering Deku vs. Bakugo, was just released from copyright jail, so please go give that a watch when you're done here. This series has a real knack for setting up fights that have high personal stakes for everyone involved, where...
Okay, I want to know what anime doesn't.
High personal
There are plenty
stakes
of animes.
For everyone involved, where every combatant has both a goal to accomplish and something to prove by fighting. This makes the villain...
Okay, what doesn't? That I could go with it for a second, but then he just goes, each combatant has something. What person just drops into the world T-pose and just going, we fighting now? Come on now.
I have no stakes nor goals here.
I got nothing. I just want to fight. But even that, just wanting to fight is a goal in and of itself.
Do you want to fight? No. Good. Fight.
Oh, wait, no. That person doesn't want to fight. So that is now a motivation.
Character trait.
What?
Do you want to fight? Punch.
Wow, this sucks. Oh, my hero isn't like this at all. Man, what is this?
Yeah, there's nothing he's saying here that separates My Hero from
Anything else? Oh my
other
goodness, combatants have a goal and motivation in the fight. What?
feel driven and dangerous, while simultaneously making it all the more cathartic to see the underdog heroes come out on top. Through strong direction.
underdogs. They're on top of society.
Seriously, and who are you
It's
talking
like
about?
saying the Empire is underdogs.
Sir, you showed Eraserhead, one of the most busted characters here.
To the point where most are just like, okay,
take out Eraserhead first, and then we'll do the plan.
do whatever the plan is after the fact.
But him first.
He is #1 priority. Rip out his eyes, make him close them, blink those sand in them. I don't care what you gotta do. Do not let him out.
He couldn't show Bakugo versus all the villains as an underdog sort of thing, because this is terrible editing. He's just saying, oh my goodness, it's very satisfying to see the heroes come from behind as an underdog, and he shows Eraserhead and Dobby? This is Dobby's, what, first, second fight? We don't know what he does.
Why not show the kids versus all those villains?
Why not show almost anything else?
Why not show the kids versus Stain?
Froppy, Minata, and Deku.
There's so many things to you.
He couldn't get anything worse, really. Legit, my goodness. This is terrible!
Driven and dangerous, while simultaneously making it all the more cathartic to see the underdog heroes come out on top. Through strong direction and great panel layouts in the manga, the series excels at creating a tense, thrilling feeling of push and pull between both sides of any given battle, gradually building toward these triumphant crescendos where the animation, music, art, and acting all peak in harmony to send our hearts soaring into the stratosphere.
I'm glad nothing else does that. I'm glad everything else is just silent and just 2 frames per second as people who have no stakes in fight either win or lose, and then they float away.
I am so tired of these grandiose like words where it's just like our heart soars at the music
It's
as
trash.
it crescendos in the.
I'm so sick of it.
Hey, that was a pretty good fight that showed how strong Deku could be.
Sure was.
And old story. I don't really
and
like this
Muscular really liked to fight, and he fought.
And he killed that kid's parents, and this is kind of a retread of the Zabuza arc in Naruto.
Please clap as
Please
the
clap.
music swells.
As
Your heart soars. Yeah, this flowery language bull crap as he's saying nothing.
Now,
Just take out the words "my hero" and insert any anime, and it's basically the same thing.
yeah, switching on over to Naruto, switching on over to Bleach.
The heroes being underdogs and winning. Our hearts soar as the animation. He's saying nothing. Brilliant panel layout. Oh my goodness, how is he popular?
Because there's a thing called transurfing. You take popular stuff, you talk about how good it is, or you take unpopular thing and you talk about how bad it is, and people gravitate towards it. This is why we will never be popular. Because we talk about popular things and go, wow, this is really trash.
You know what? I actually really like Demon Slayer. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe we should start up a Patreon just to show how much we love Demon Slayer in particular. Now next year, it might be something different that we love. But for this year, it's all Demon Slayer.
Yeah, we're going to call it Demon Slayer Fans at Patreon. And we're going to dedicate podcasts and whole series to it. Frame by frame analysis of look at how it flows. 30,000 views, watch.
Start up the Hashira podcast. we can do this.
What are their names? In English?
Pillars.
Yeah. The Pillar Podcast.
There we go.
Podcast the Pillars.
We can do this. We can just legitimately be bums like this.
Filler.
And just say nothing and get cash because people just need confirmation bias of, yeah, this thing that I am watching, it actually is good. Mm. Oh, you guys are criticizing Bleach? Oh, let me smash y'all for a second. Hey, what's the money? Who cares?
We got a point on the king, whose name I already forgot. Soul King. Soul King. What are these bums
What's
doing?
the money? Oh, what about the demon reincarnation, huh? What about the hollow reincarnation? Isn't that good? Sure it is. What's the money? Hey, what about when they went into the city and they got their limiter removed? Isn't that good? Yes, what's the money? This is what it's catering to people. Just like, I don't need to think. Just give me what I already know and flowery language like the panel layout so I can be like, wow, that panel was pretty sick. And you clap and then you just go, what do you get from this video? Do you come out with a greater appreciation for My Hero? What has he said that made you go, yo?
Nothing.
Oh, yes, you know it's pretty animation. You know it's drawn well. You know that. What? He even said that it doesn't need to be a critique on the hero society. It just needs to be a shonen fun thing.
Where you clap.
This is 7 minutes in. What has he said? I hate videos like this. Even if I did like My Hero, I'd be like, I don't need to watch this crap. I don't need somebody to tell me why My Hero is great. I know why My Hero is great.
I've loved One Piece for roughly 13 years. 12, 13 years. I have never watched a video where it's like, hey, One Piece is pretty hype, yo. I haven't even watched tier lists to be like, wow, they think that's the best arc. I don't watch things like that. I watch things that go, One Piece is trash, yo. And I go, what does he have to say about One Piece? Oh, nothing.
Now there are certain things where I will search out some praise videos, some like Sket Dance where nobody's talking about it. I like to hear what people like it because there's a lot of things within Sket Dance to like, and I don't get a whole lot of positives or
Yeah, but I think
conversation about it.
That's what I think is the difference for you. You don't get a lot of people. You don't get to go to an anime convention and see 3,700 cosplayers doing sket dance stuff. You might get lucky to get 2.
I have ever only seen 1, and I talked with that dude for like 10 minutes.
See, so it's way different for something like that when you could just sneeze and find a My Hero fan. So you don't need to go to.
Yeah.
I understand.
What do you need? Whoever's watching this surely has a friend who likes My Hero as well, and y'all talking about it. So why do you need Mother's Basement? And if you don't have that one friend who doesn't like it, are you telling me that this video has like 700,000 views? Are you telling me that there's 700,000 people who don't have a single friend who's into My Hero and needs somebody to tell them why it's good? Some sort of like, hey, other people like this as well, and I'm happy.
Now, I will absolutely watch a live stream of some people do some tier lists because I think you can talk to people and interact with it and stuff. But I'm not gonna go watch a video of it.
There's a One Piece YouTuber by the name of Morge, Mr. Morge. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. People have talked about him. I actually
know that dude, and I don't mean like I know of him. I think I actually know that person.
But anyway, people have talked about him somebody recommended like one of the videos that was just like Jinbei doesn't have a place in the top 3. That's the dude. But anyway, he did
I'll watch some stuff like that. I'll watch some slander. Hey, Jinbei sucks. Get me in there.
But he was ranking the villains of One Piece. All the arc villains, and I popped in there. That was fun for a discussion and everything. He was very wrong. But you know,
what did he say?
I think Kuro was in like C.
Ooh, no.
Kuro was amazing. And he had obvious ones like Axeham Morgan and like D and Wap. I think he put Wapple in D as well. This bastard put Foxy in F tier. I'm like, no. We're just wrong here then.
Foxy at worst is C.
Because one of his things was just like, how much did he like him as well as how much impact did they have on the series? I'm like, that bastard almost broke up the Straw Hats.
I mean, I don't care how much impact somebody has on the series. We had this whole discussion with Mike and Ralph in the podcast. I don't care what impact you had in 2 chapters out of 10 or 15 chapters out of 20. Yeah. Are you a good character?
That's really all that matters. Then I like to see discourse like that of just like I'm a fan of tier lists just to have people be like, I'm going to try to justify my position in here and why I think this character.
I will agree with you in that I would be interested to see what they have to say for themselves in regards to a tier list, as opposed to just dropping it on Twitter and like, here's my tier list.
Yeah, here it is. He put
Croc, Dofi at the greatest, bad Wapple. I don't like him. Alvida, man, I like Alvida. Foxy, Creek. Wow, how far did he get? These are not the villains. Is he just talking about the main?
Just arc villains. That's why Katakuri isn't there.
I don't like that.
That's just freaking.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And I was in chat just like, Magellan wasn't a villain. He was just doing his job. He broke in. I understand that he's doing horrible poison torture stuff, but he's a poison man.
And these people are criminals. Like, these aren't just like, hey, lock them up over there, criminals. These are dregs of society, impelled down, greatest criminals in history, criminals.
And I'm like, yeah, he poisoned Luffy, but you gotta look at it like, that's Garp's son. And he broke into the prison to steal Ace, Gold Roger's son. So maybe we kill this person right here and now. That's a whole nother thing.
It's powerful stuff. Hiroaka also features a lot of great creative fight choreography, though its protagonist...
Oh my goodness, we're still here. We are still here. I forgot.
Off. Because Deku's whole thing is breaking through his psychological and physical limitations to win the day by the skin of the teeth, his fights, especially the early ones, are often determined by simple bursts of raw, destructive power, which isn't all that interesting. before he starts zipping around like Gran Torino with full cowl and using his...
Okay, that was false. I was trying to see if he was explaining more. Here's one of Deku's first fight is with Minata and Froppy against the villains, and it's pure let's use our heads to find a way to get out of here. Otherwise, we are going to die.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Even with the ball throwing thing, it was ingenuity of I can't break my arm, and he had to think around it.
I can't not throw it far, but I can't break my arm. The only one I can really think of is something like Todoroki. Because even Bakugo Deku, the first one, he was like, I'm going to shoot it upwards so Uraraka gets the thing. So
what is he talking about?
It usually just ends in pure power.
His fights, especially the early ones, are often determined by simple bursts of raw, destructive power, which isn't all that interesting.
Wasn't... He said especially early, he has full cowl right there.
Yeah.
So what is he talking about?
This is even after that fact.
He goes, right, the next sentences go, as he's zip-zapping around like Gran Torino. So I gotta assume he means pre-full cowl is the bad stuff. But he uses a full cowl punch.
He starts zipping around like Gran Torino with full cowl and using his shoot-style kicks. His style of fighting is very conventional, straightforward.
Pause. But you use full cowl as your example. Do you not see how that's bad? His fights are boring before full cowl. But let me show this full cowl punch.
And again, Deku, his stuff is straightforward, but it hurts him so much that he has to do more than just, hey, let me just punch real hard.
All Mights. And while both of them do strategize in combat and make use of fancy footwork, neither of them really taps into what I think is the core appeal of crazy shonen anime fights. Seeing creative, unique, and very specific power sets clash with one another and trying to figure out how one might triumph over the other.
Not necessarily, because you look at something like Yu Yu Hakusho and the fight with Tagoro, it was just like two really strong dudes doing strong dudes things, but it was the emotion that was attached to it as opposed to, not the emotion of the audience, the emotion of the characters attached to it, as opposed to the weird power sets and trying to overcome it. Which was a lot of the Dark Tournament itself. It was just like, how do I beat this power? But that's not what Tagoro and Yusuke was about. It doesn't need to be this whole, how do I overcome the power itself, ingenuity thing to be a good shonen fight. It could be the emotion attached to it. Because in Arlong Luffy, it's not a great fight, but it's a great emotional fight. Ing Usopp and the fish dude, that is not a great fight. It's not really, it's got a little bit of ingenuity at the end, but my God, is it great. My God, is Usopp amazing. Get him in there.
And this is very disingenuous as you're using the pinnacle of thinky shonen fight stuff.
Yeah.
There's no match for JoJo in this case. So there's not even the point of comparing it.
Or I compare it to something like the other good series you were talking about, like Promised Neverland and One Punch Man and all that. Because One Punch Man is not a lot of thinky stuff.
But it critiques the hero stuff, and that covers
that
up.
Dynamic
Don't
is
just
what
play
makes
as
the
I'm
stand
talking.
battles of JoJo, the jutsu trickery of Naruto, and the alchemic reactions of
the jutsu trickery of Naruto, as once we get to the end, is just, oh, I'm just going to look at you and you're set on fire forever. Oh, here comes more giant samurai. Well, here comes my super form. My Kurama chakra cloak.
Are we forgetting that one of the first big moments of Naruto is Lee, a dude with no jutsu, putting hands to Sasuke? Are we forgetting this? Like, the way they overcame Haku wasn't through ingenuity. Naruto got real mad.
And he grabbed him and punched him. And again, you're just going the jutsu trickery of Naruto. Saying nothing, doing nothing.
Unless you're talking Shika, you're not talking about a lot of ingenuity stuff. You're talking about overwhelming force. Naruto Gaara, overwhelming force. In Sasuke Deidara, that was a little bit of trickery there. But a lot of overwhelming force.
Neji Naruto.
Overwhelming force.
Choji Butterfly. Choji Jirobo.
Overwhelming force.
No, but jutsu trickery, and I've made my point.
Even Neji was just like, I gotta find out where he is so I could just punch him a lot real quick.
Just get these hands and I win.
To trickery.
In fact, one of the best fights of the Chunin exam that people do not talk about is in Neji and Hinata, where it's more about emotion than them doing any type of jutsu trickery. Mm-hmm. It's just if either one of them gets touched for a second, they will explode internally. Naruto farted to win, and it was a great fight. What are we talking about here?
Jutsu trickery. He's made his point.